You know the vibes, PVO, positive vibes only, FOE, family over everything, high vibrations. Hope everybody's staying positive, shooting all negativity down, protecting your energy, focusing on yourself, and mastering self, staying healthy, being the best version of yourself, smiling, telling your loved ones, friends, family, even strangers that you love them, that they're great. Salute to all my kings and queens out there. Today, I want to talk to y'all, just, give you a little update on things that's going on. It's a whole lot going on, as I've been sharing with y'all, as other YouTubers and other people with their platforms has been sharing with y'all. Last Maryland update I gave y'all, we was talking about, Hogan, and talking about the inauguration and the crackdowns that they've done to heighten the security and everything. So since then, it's been more bullshit. The whole world is a stage, you know what I'm saying? As far as just the things that's been going on with the politics and all the politicians and shit. So they supposedly got by they had the inauguration and everything. Nothing really happened to the degree that they was preparing for. But it's been busy. Biden's been busy. He ain't wasting no time. I came across this interesting article. I'll leave the link in the description. Please feel free to view it, or you could just follow along. Biden plots sneak attack against U.S. firearms industry. So this is all related to Second Amendment, right to bear arms. Those of you all that are not familiar with the Second Amendment, you should familiarize yourself with it, and just know it goes into depth as far as us as Americans or U.S. citizens having the right to bear arms. So Joe Biden has unveiled his agenda for his first 100 days in the White House, and his list includes an initiative aimed at nothing less than the destruction of the U.S. firearms industry. This is what would happen if Biden succeeds in his pledge to repeal the Protection of Lawful Commerce, in Arms Act. Imagine if firearm manufacturers and sellers, even those who strictly follow the laws enacted to regulate their industry, faced potential civil liability every time a criminal misused a firearm. The effect would be similar to holding automobile makers and dealers responsible for injuries caused by drunk drivers. No business, no matter how conscious and law-abiding, could ever survive being liable for the acts of millions of random people over whom it had no control. And that is exactly why the law generally imposes no duty on a person or entity to control the acts of third persons to prevent them from causing harm, unless the person or entity has certain types of relationships with those causing the harm or being harmed. Yet gun control activists in and outside of government hope to rewrite that principle when it came to makers and sellers of firearms. During the 1980s and 90s, a coordinated series of lawsuits against the gun industry sought to hold these businesses responsible for the criminal acts third parties committed with firearms. The plaintiffs knew they faced an uphill climb legally, but winning cases wasn't necessarily the point. They could also prevail by bankrupting the targets of the of the predatory litigation by forcing them to defend multiple suits simultaneously in courts throughout the nation, or by extorting industry members to adopt best practices that required them to follow the terms of unsuccessful gun control legislation. This egregious abuse of the legal system to destroy an industry providing constitutionally protected goods and services sparked a bipartisan response from coast to coast. 34 states passed laws to block these suits in their own courts. Finally, in 2005, Congress followed these examples by enacting the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, PLCAA, to provide a floor of protection nationwide. While portrayed by opponents as providing extraordinary immunity in the I'm sorry, family. Just hold tight for a second. There's no cat. My daughter's calling me. I'm gonna answer this. Hey, baby. Okay. Daddy's in the middle of recording a video. All right. I can bring them home after school, after y'all get out of class, baby. Are you okay? You logged on? Okay, all right. Daddy love you, princess. Bye, love you too. I'm sorry about that, family. I ain't want to mess the video up. I ain't want to have to edit it. So it's just, it's raw and uncut. It be like that. I'm a father of 5. Be on my daddy shit. So yeah, I'm gonna pick back up where we left off at. Finally, in 2005, Congress followed these examples by enacting the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, PLCAA, to provide a floor of protection. While portrayed by opponents as providing extraordinary immunity to the firearms industry, the essence of the PLCAA is simply that the gun industry would be subject to the same rules of third-party liability that apply to other businesses. Thus, the PLCAA prohibits in state and federal court a civil action of administrative proceeding by any person against a manufacturer or seller of a firearm, ammunition, or component part thereof, or a trade association for harms resulting from the criminal unlawful misuse of the product by the person or a third party. Contrary to the way the PLCAA is portrayed by the anti-gun media and other opponents, it does not provide absolute immunity to unscrupulous gun companies. Most common and legitimate forms of recovery are still available to plaintiffs under the PLCAA, including those based on the manufacturer's or seller's own violations of gun control laws or laws governing the sale or marketing of the products, negligent entrustment by sellers, breach of contract or warranty, design of manufacturing defects when the harm was not caused by a violational criminal act, and enforcement of federal gun control laws. In other words, while the PLCAA has been successfully used to block litigation arising from the behavior of third parties. It allows various sorts of laws alleging harm from the manufacturers and sellers' own bad actions. Yet relative priority, yet relative party under the law is too much for Joe Biden and his gun control collaborators. This is exactly why Biden pledged during the campaign to repeal the PLCAA, and why his agenda for the first 100 days in office includes introducing legislation to accomplish this goal. Eliminating a defense to certain forms of civil liability is not a move likely to generate the same kinds of headlines as gun bans and mandatory taxing or surrender programs. Also features of Biden's larger gun control agenda. But make no mistake, repeal of the PLCAA would potentially have even more devastating impacts than new federal prohibitions on the types of firearms Americans could own. Now we getting somewhere. So I don't know if y'all been following along, but it still seems like there's an agenda more so than ever now to really crack down on our Second Amendment and ultimately ban firearms as law-abiding citizens. They don't care if it's our right. They just want to disarm us. And all the ones that are awake and aware, you know what that's for. Stay woke. But make no mistake, repeal of the PLCAA would potentially have even more devastating impacts than new federal prohibitions on the types of firearms Americans could use. This is because it would leave to the imaginations of thousands of greedy trial lawyers and activist judges reasons for why this or that type of firearm or ammunition is too dangerous to be available to the American public. These suits, moreover, would undoubtedly be underwritten by any number of billionaire activists, creating a litigation war chest that no single player in the gun industry could match. So we basically got these, it sounds like we got these politicians, these judges, these billionaires. These are the people that are bombarding and trying to take away our laws. They all in it together. They are all in it together. They don't give a fuck about us. I'm gonna just leave it at that. We'll dive deep into more videos coming up, but they don't give a fuck about us. They do not care about us at all. I don't give a fuck how much little stimulus money they giving out, or how much little that's a whole nother video too. How much extra supplements they add in, or money they add in on food stamps, or even if they extending the eviction little order in, like, they don't give a fuck. It's all games. It's all part of their plan and their agenda. These suits, moreover, would undoubtedly be underwritten by any number of billionaire activists, creating a litigation war chest that no single player in the gun industry could match. Congress saw the existential threat these tactics posed to the industries that support America's Second Amendment as well as its defense and security infrastructure. That is why the PLCAA enjoyed broad bipartisan support, including from the likes of Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. But politics change, and now Biden believes there is an appetite in his caucus to inflict more mortal damage to the U.S. firearms industry. The NRA is determined to prevent that, but will need your help. When they say your help, talking about us, ones that are aware, ones that care about their rights, specifically the Second Amendment, as we're speaking on now. We need your help more than ever. Gun owners will need to be active and engaged to defend their freedoms in the perilous new political climate. Man, y'all better wake the fuck up, man. Y'all see what's going on. They moving fast. They not playing no games out here at all. I love y'all, man.